What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be bringing you guys an exciting video, at least it feels like one to me, and this is me shopping my new products. So I have quite a few products that I've shown you guys in my last haul, which will have been for May. I also have received kind of the last shipment of products that I picked up before my low buy. That has changed, and so yeah, I just wanted to showcase it. A lot of this stuff honestly was heavily influenced by Laura May Beauty, so I might as well go ahead and put her channel down below because like she influenced a lot of this stuff. But yeah, if you are interested in seeing how I created this look, there is going to be a drastic change in like lighting, mainly because the thunderstorm rolled through, so there was no point in me keeping my window open for like natural lighting. So that's pretty much that, and yeah, let's just roll to the video. Hey guys, so like I said in the intro, your girl went ahead and shopped through all of the new stuff, and I just put them in this cute little basket. I hope you guys don't mind that I kind of didn't show you guys shopping my stash. I want to see if you guys prefer this arrangement of shopping my stash or the other arrangement, but more or less this is a get ready with me, pretty much all new products. I will have everything that I have on my face down below as always, and anything that I don't have new, I will just shop my stash or my collection for either a project pan or just an older product. So first I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the new Milk Makeup. This is their Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer. This is the packaging, this is the actual product. I did get the mini mainly because I didn't know if I was going to enjoy this, and although I don't have a lot of primers, I also don't want to feel the need to pan this because I bought a whole bottle of it. So I went ahead and did this. It has a weird smell, kind of bad smell, like something that's like all natural with no fragrance in there, or like a chemical smell. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like a chemical smell. I do not like that at all, but it did give me like some, it felt like a little bit hydrating, not like normal kind of pore filling or mattifying primers, but you can also feel it like drying on my skin. So I'm sure it's going to be halfway decent. Milk Makeup I find does really good with primers, so I am very, very excited about that. For my foundation today, I really wanted to try this. So as I told you guys before, I am doing like a kind of overhaul when it comes to my foundations, and even a couple more may be getting the boot after I did my inventory video, because I have already recorded that. I just haven't done the b-roll that I need to kind of make that presentable for you guys. Anyways, this is the Yensa Bc Foundation, and if you follow Laura May Beauty, you know what this is. Okay, she gets a shade somewhere in light. I don't really know the shade that she gets, but I did pick up a shade, and I picked up the shade Deep Warm. So this is supposed to have, if I remember correctly, warm but more neutral, neutral olive undertones, I believe, and it looks like I did halfway decent for once. So let's go ahead and pump this on my sponge. I am just honestly mainly a sponge person. It is what it is. I just love me a good sponge. I put 3 different pumps on this, and this looks halfway decent on shade match. There is a slight scent on it as well, but this is giving really nice coverage, really nice coverage, and it looks, from what I can tell, to be skin-like, seamless. Let me get a mirror so I can look really far in, and in case you're wondering, you can see this side has the foundation, this side does not. This looks really nice. This looks extremely nice. And like I said, this is 3 pumps. I'm probably gonna have to use just one more pump for this side of my face, or actually maybe it might actually cover itself really nicely. So I really like this so far. I mean, granted, first impression, literally you guys saw me apply it and try it for the first time. but I'm pretty good at sussing out if I'm gonna like a foundation or not. I like this so far. It does not feel heavy. It doesn't feel constricting. I don't feel like I have foundation on, and I am finding that that is the kind of type of foundations that I am enjoying more often. And this also does have SPF 40, so in the event that you're one of those people who does wear foundation every day, or you know, just wants that in your products, I'm liking that so far. I want to see if there is flash, especially because I am of chocolate color, and sometimes the different, depending on the SPF, it can just flash back. So I'll try and do that and maybe put it on the screen, because I will be taking pictures of my overall look at the end. Just going to use my Project Pan concealer really quickly. And in case you didn't know, my Project Pan concealer right now is actually the LYS Triple Fix Concealer in the shade DN3. And if you hear that in the background, we are about to have another summer storm where I'm living. So yeah, I can hear it. Hopefully the lights don't flicker as they tried to play me last time. But yeah, so far I'm liking everything on my face. As far as the pore situation, I don't really pay attention to my pores, if we're being really honest. And I would not say that they look they look filled in, but I wouldn't say that they aren't emphasized. But like I said, I don't pay all that much attention to my pores on a daily basis. So this could just be like how my pores look, or this could also be an improvement, and I just don't know. We are not done with the cream products. You guys really wanted to see this on me, and so I figured let's pick it up. I did attempt to pick up the bundle as I said I was going to, but I ended up getting reimbursed because I guess they didn't have it or they forgot to put in my order. I don't really know. But this is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. This is her cream bronzer in the shade 3 Tan. So I ended up picking up this particular shade because Amber Pollock here on YouTube actually already got this shade and the next deepest, and she showcased it on her skin. We are pretty much like a shade or two apart from each other shade wise, and she showed that this is actually our shade. This is the shade that we should use. And so I figured, let's go. Now this is a very light shade and it's a very natural bronze, but from what she showed, it was significantly darker than her complexion. And I don't know, I just went with it. Now I'm having second thoughts, and I feel like for me, I really should have went for the next shade. But you see, it gave a subtle, but it gave a bronze. I'm just not used to it not looking so apparent in person, but on camera it gave a subtle bronze, which means it really did bronze up my skin. I just am not used to this type of bronze. So overall, it looks really nice. It's blending in extremely well. I don't know if it's because this shade is just really close to my skin tone. This is the shade again, and this is the tan shade. I think I'm gonna get the next shade. I think I am, because although this is cute, I don't think this is gonna be dark enough. And I don't think this would be the shade that I would prefer between the two. But we'll do it. We'll do it for science. We'll do it for you guys. So stay tuned for that kind of bronzer roundup. I'm going to end up doing a bronzer hunt week this year because I have so many bronzers that I'm really into, and I'm picking up slowly but surely. Last cream cheek product that I want to talk about today, or showcase today, is from Dominique Cosmetics. So I ended up picking this up in the BoxyCharm sale. So I got this extremely cheap compared to like their retail price, and I wanted to try them originally. I just never got around to it. And this is in the shade Natural Rose. Really pretty packaging. And this is what she looks like. She looks like more of a terracotta-ish peach, pinky peach, than like a straight up rose. But let's try her on for size. This has a little bit of the cream blush on, this has none. I think that this is a very subtle but skin-like finish, which is really, really nice. I think I might prefer this formula though, pigment wise, above my powder, because I'm pretty sure once I put that powder on, I'm not gonna see it. And I do like to see my blush, but really nice formula. Okay, all right, so cool daddy cool. Let us go ahead and set, and per usual lately I'm just going to go ahead and set with my Too Faced Peach Perfect Translucent Powder. And I don't know if I've said, but lately I've actually been using my sponge, and I just go ahead and grab in on one of the sides just to set my whole face. Okay, so this is everything set. I think that it's a nice subtle beat base wise, but if we're talking about me just normal day every day, I would want to put on a cream or a powder blush and a powder bronzer, and then of course highlighter as well. So let me reach into my Project Pan bronzer because I don't have another powder bronzer yet, and then we have some more stuff to talk about. Since I'm going for this subtle beat type situation, I decided not to go too far in on my powder bronzer, but I still am very happy to put that on. I decided next I want to showcase one of the two blushes that I picked up from the old Haus Labs. So I did do a community post just in case you guys were wondering, and a majority of you guys actually wanted to see Haus Labs showcased on my channel, other than some other brands that I put on there. And there were a couple other people that had like one or two other brands as well. So I think I am gonna actually go ahead and just try and showcase the new Haus Labs on launch. I think it's gonna be available. I'm recording this on the 8th. I believe her brand is gonna be available to purchase on the Sephora app tomorrow. I'm not positive if it's going to be in store anywhere near me, but I do live in a pretty big like metropolitan area, so I feel like there's gonna be one somewhere in my area, and if there is, I will just go in store just to see the products in store and to pick out my products. So stay tuned for that. I'm definitely going to provide that for you all, even though I didn't expect to. As for the blush, it is insanely light in my opinion from what I can see, and it does give a subtle kind of sheen, but then again, that might be because there's something else on my brush. I do tend to forget that I have something on my brushes. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the amount of pigment going on my face, but first impressions are just that, first impressions. I will try this with different brushes. I will try it with a clean brush, all of that stuff, to see if it really is good or bad, all of that. So really pretty stuff there. And then the last cheek product that we are going to talk about today is actually from Fenty Beauty. This is her Diamond Balm in the shade Cognac Candy. So I already have one of these. I have this in, I don't know, the white version of this. I have it in the white version and I really do enjoy it. I don't get as much use out of it as I really should, but I figured this would blend into my skin even more. And if I ever want to do like full on body like shimmer and stuff, this would be perfect. And so yeah, this is going to be my highlighter today. It's pretty. It's pretty. Life altering right now? No, but it is definitely pretty. All right, so we are almost ready to do my brows and my eyes, but first I do have a couple of lip products. So I do have the one lipstick from Natasha Denona, which is in the shade Sami, and I also do have the lip gloss from Rowan in Charlie, and I figured maybe I'll use both today. So let's swatch them. This is the shade Charlie from Rowan. It is pretty much a clear gloss with a light pinky hue. I think my lights are washing it out just a little bit. Let me move this light. I also can't see, I just stared inside the light. Hopefully that helped, I don't really know. And then the other one is going to be, like I said, Sami from Natasha Denona's I Need a Nude range. Ooh, and this is Sami. Oh, Sami blends in. Okay, all right, so we're gonna, I don't want to mess with the shade. I think I'm just gonna go straight in. I'm gonna go straight in with Sami, no lip liner. Okay, maybe I needed a lip liner. Okay, hold on. Hold, please. Okay, I think I like that a lot looking in the viewfinder. Like I said, this is just the combination of the Plum lip liner, just flared, just to blend this shade a little bit better into my skin tone. And then let's just go ahead and throw the Rowan lip gloss on top. Rowan has like a minty scent to it. Definitely a minty scent. They didn't really add much color, but it did add to the sheen, although Natasha already had a sheen to it, and there is kind of a lipsticky scent to that. Okay, I decided to come even closer so that you guys could see the next product really nicely, and this is the Rowan brow pencil. I have this in the shade Dark Force, and if you give me a second, I'm gonna swatch it really quickly. Okay, so it's a very small tip, but the tip is blunt, so do keep that in mind. This is the shade swatched on my back of my hand. So like I said, the tip is blunt, which is unusual. I'm not used to that, so that I guess we'll get some used to, although I'm sure after I use it, it will no longer be so blunt. But I'm just going to take the time, I'll speed up this part while I'll just do my brows really quickly. And yeah, I'll just do my brows pretty much as I always do them, and I'll tell you guys if I like the brow pencil formula or not. Okay, so first impressions on this brow pencil, I do not like the color at all. It looks like ash in my brows. It's way too cool toned. I do, like I said, I feel more of an olive undertone, leaning more warm, although I'm not a full-on warm undertone, I don't feel. And this is just, it's not good. But I think now that I put the ABH brow pencil in, I feel like it just kind of took off some of that like ashiness, and it's not gonna look as bad. But sis ain't cute. She ain't cute. As for the actual formula, I think it's okay. It's a little hard for my preference, but you know, it's not like the end of the world. I'm not super particular when it comes to the formula. I can usually adapt pretty easily to brow formulas. It's just more of the shade, and that shade, that dog just ain't hunting. She ain't hunting at all. This is another product that I got from BoxyCharm. I thought this would be a really good eyeshadow base, like eyeshadow base brush. I don't really know what to call it. I guess that's what I'm going to call it. This is technically, I believe, a concealer brush from some random brand. Like I said, I will have everything down below, including the products that are new to me. I think this is working fine. It's a really nice soft brush. I like it. I like it. No fuss, no muss. Okay, so exciting. We're gonna combine two different eyeshadows today: the Nars Climax eyeshadow palette and the Rowan 1111. Are you excited? Are you getting the vibes of Lauren Mae Beauty? Because I'm feeling them. I'm not providing the look as great as she would have, but I'm feeling the looks. I'm feeling the vibes, if that makes any sense. I'm feeling the fantasy, the vibes, everything. Okay, so I need some brushes, and we're just gonna pull at random from my clean brushes. Very excited for these. Well, this is the Smith 230 brush, and I think I want to start off with this kind of taupey brownish shade. And we're just going to put this all in the crease. I kind of just want to see if this shows up, and if it does, how pigmented, because these types of shades tend to just show because of the undertone, not necessarily because of the pigmentation or the shade depth. And I think that's pretty much how it's looking. You can see that it's quite cool for my skin tone, so that's why you can really see it, but otherwise it's not like it's overly pigmented or anything like that, which is fine. We're just going to use this as a transition shade today. No worries. And I'll probably set my brow bone maybe with that shade. We'll see. Okay, next let's go into the greeny shade. This is the shade that made this palette for me. So we're just gonna go into her same brush. And we're just gonna kind of apply this in the crease in that outer V, but the main goal is to not overpower that transition shade fully. And I'm actually gonna just lightly go back into the taupe shade just to kind of get the edges of the blown out area. I will say off rip, I find that these shades are applying actually slightly deeper than expected based on what I see in the palette. For example, this is the shade and it just looks deeper, more richer on my eyes. I already knew that Nars shadows are really good. I've tried their shadows before, but I've just been hesitant to try them for full price. Then I picked up this Sigma Detail Blender brush, and I'm going to go into the dark brown, and we're just going to deepen up this look even more. I'm going to try and keep this really low and centralized. Okay, so this went darker than I was envisioning, but that's okay. That is okay. Now let's reach into the Rowan palette. Like I said, this is the 1111 palette. This was on sale for, I want to say, like half off or something. So I decided to pick it up, and even if I don't get a lot of use out of it, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. So these are the 4 shadows. They are really, really pretty. Extremely pretty. I think I'm gonna start off with this one, which, do they have shade names? I don't see any shade names, but we're just gonna go right into her. I'm gonna use my finger. I don't mind using my finger, and I feel like Lauren Mae Beauty said in a video that you should use your finger for these. So this is definitely like a, I wouldn't say chunky, but it's not a super wet formula. It feels quite dry even though it's supposed to be a cream. Oh, there we go. I think I finally like got over that first kind of cover of it, and it's starting to get a little bit creamy. So it's nice. It's nice so far. It's definitely a textured shadow. Definitely a textured shadow. And I feel like this is very dark. This was not the intention. I promise guys. It was not the intention. But it happened. So this is really nice. And what inner corner should I use? This, I feel like that might be too warm, and this is feeling very cool toned, and this looks quite pinky. Okay, so I'm not going to use that for my inner corner. I think I'm actually going to go back and use this one. This looks to be a little bit more neutral. I think that was a good decision. Yeah. Okay guys, so I'm having a lot of difficulty getting this last clip to just get some volume. So unfortunately I had to just take the whole clip out, and I tried everything that I could think about. Anyways, I wanted to run down all of the products very quickly. As for the primer, I think so far it's looking really nice, although I was not able to wear it for a long period of time. I can't really give you a thumbs up or thumbs down until I really get to test that out, especially testing it out in the heat. So stay tuned on that. As for the foundation, I'm really enjoying it. I love the coverage, I love the feel of it, and I just love the color that I was able to get. It looks like a really good match in my opinion. And so for me, the foundation is a full-on thumbs up, barring anything crazy happening in the future. The concealer and the powder were both Project Pam. Then when we get to the cream bronzer, I was thrown far aback, I feel like, when I tried it in person the first time, just because I was just so expecting something more of what I'm quote unquote used to. But the more I think about it, I realize that the fourth shade, although may have been deeper than my skin tone, would have pulled more as a bronzer and not really as a bronzer. So that's really why I chose the shade tan, and I think I'm gonna stick with that shade, not only because of, you know, saving some money, but also I truly think that's just the best shade for me. As for the blush, right now I'm not liking it at all, but I do want to take the time to really give it another shot and potentially try it above powder to see if I can get more pigmentation to really appear on my cheeks. The highlighter is looking really nice. I'm really enjoying it. It's as easy as I thought it was going to be, and it's really showing up the way I thought. As for the eyeshadow palette, I know the mattes from the Nars palette definitely pulled really gray. I don't really know what happened there. It might have been my blending, but I know Nars's formula is spot on, excellent, and I still felt the same formula when I was blending these mattes. So I would still recommend that palette. As for the Rowan Quad, I don't really know how to feel about it. The one shade that I did put on my lid ended up actually being eaten by my oily lids after a couple of hours, so I definitely need to test that out a lot more to really give you guys my thoughts, but it did look like a really pretty shade on my lids. I do have the MAC lashes on, and I will have them down below. I think they're fine. I definitely need to work on, you know, working that band a little bit more flexible, and then also I may need to cut a little bit more because it just was poking the inner corner of my eye. When it comes to the lip products, they're both really, really nice. I just think that in the future, I won't wear them together because it just felt like a lot on my lips and I just did not like the feeling. Last thing I think I need to talk about is the brow product. I think the formula is okay. Definitely not my favorite. I definitely wouldn't recommend it for you to pay any more than what I paid. For $5, I think it's fine and I wouldn't mind paying for it again, but the shade is just atrocious. So I would definitely need to find a different shade to really work with my skin tone. I'm really, really sorry about this. I truly tried to get the footage to work, but for some reason it just does not want to export the way that I can hear it in my editing software. Hopefully my video tomorrow works perfectly. And until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow, guys. Bye.